Yeah, we get back from the hotel around 1 a.m. They want you in the lobby at 5.
So man.
And we do an hour-long meet and greets and 2-hour-long sets. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, well, I guess it's just the consequence of making good music.
Yeah, I guess so.
You get no sympathy from me.
Right. Oh, I'd much rather be doing this than nothing. So.
Spencer, man, thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
So we're a few shows into the Underoath tour in Australia. How have the first shows been so far?
Dude, last night was crazy, man. Brisbane was next level.
Right.
It was tight.
Sure.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know what kind of fans you're getting at these shows as well, because Underoath is such a staple of this kind of music. Every day another group of kids is kind of cottoning onto it. What's the crowd like?
It's we did this leg in America. We kind of like started asking on stage, like, how many people have never seen this before, you know? And like, it was about half and half. So a lot of kids that are new fans that, you know, or they were too young when we were touring before, you know, and like, I think about it, it's like, you know, one of my favorite bands was Nirvana. If he hadn't have died, like, how long would it have been before I got to see him because I was so young?
Right,
you know? Like,
right.
Or like Guns N' Roses, who's touring now, like, how many of those people are first timers? Probably
most, a lot of them.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different. You know, we've only been in band since like with this lineup since 2003. So I mean, it's a long time, but not in the grand scheme of things with like real bands or whatever.
Sure.
You know, so I think about that all the time. It's like, so if Foo Fighters, who I've never seen and I've been listening to since I was in like a baby, and who's one of my favorite bands, I still haven't been able to see. So there's kids that I'm like, yeah, I can understand us being your favorite band, you never saw us play. But now that this scene's grown so much, we're starting to have some bands that are just bands. You know, it's like,
sure.
You know, the Deftones showed us that, and, you know, like Brand New and Taking Back Sunday, and, you know, bands that have been around, Killswitch Engage have been around, you know, for a really long time.
Well, yeah, because I was going to ask, you know, because some of those bands you mentioned did have moments of hiatus, did break up. You know, what was the kind of unique about the Underoath story?
We were too young when we started, and we were over-toured because people thought... I don't think the industry knew... Like, you got to remember, we were one of the first bands to kind of bring this scene... You know,
Sure.
There was Poison the Well was just before us, and The Refused obviously broke up before we were... You know, but, like... I think we were one of the first bands that helped bring this scene like into like this music into maybe a larger light. And I'm with a lot of other bands. I'm not saying we're the only one, but like when we started, it was still VFW halls and basement shows and stuff like that. Not just because we were a new band, because this music period wasn't accepted in music venues and
Sure.
by record labels and real managers and real producers. You know, you're recording with a shitty producer, you have a terrible manager,
In a shitty studio,
and an awful record label because no one wanted to put it out. So when things started to pick up, I feel like the industry was like, okay, this isn't going to last because no one's going to listen to this music 10 years from now because they're just go. So all the bands that were in the first round of this kind of heavier music, I think, over-toured. And we just happened to be one of the younger ones, and we just got, and I'm going to quote John Lennon here, we got robbed of our youth. I heard him say that on a documentary I watched on the flight over here, actually. When you're a teenager, you have a clique, you know, like, it's probably because you all like the same bands, or you were in a band, probably. Right. You know, like, just judging a book by its cover, looking at you. Like,
I dabbled.
Yeah, or you guys went to shows together,
sure,
whatever.
Yeah.
You were all the same. And then when you grow up, you kind of like, maybe you're get into different things because you work somewhere else, or you date someone, or someone in your family dies, or whatever happens to you, you become an individual. And I think when you're in a band as kids, that doesn't happen until way later, until it has to happen. Like,
because it's like insular.
It's literally like, because you got to be the same person until like, and the walls are shaking, and then just goes, and everyone like, and then. Like, since you're not used to seeing that, because we didn't go to school, you know, we didn't do that stuff. Everyone starts to get like, oh, he's different now. Like, what's he doing? Well, what's that guy doing? Like, I don't like him anymore. You know, and then the whole thing crumbles because you don't ever have time to fix it because you're always on tour. And I feel like we built a really strong house, or a really strong foundation to the house. You know, the pavement, like the foundation layer, and then the rest was kind of shaky, and we just had to rip that bitch down and start over. You know, I feel like we didn't plan on breaking up to get back together. I think we literally thought we were like, we're done with this, and it's hard to grow up on the road. And I think the most beautiful thing is it came back organically, because we start to remember why we did this in the first place, and it's because we loved each other. We were best friends. We're like a family,
Were there always kind of guys in the background going, come on, let's do it, let's get back?
No, because by the time it was done, I think we were all just kind of like,
oh, right, yeah.
Like, you really want to go down this and do a farewell tour and sell all the merch and sell all the gear and give up and go get a job? Like, I'm going to go start another band. Like, fuck you.
Right,
I think that was kind of, excuse my language or whatever, but I just think it just took time, and it came back naturally and organically, and we eventually, like, we were talking, like, me and Aaron were talking, and like Tim and Chris were friends again, and it just slowly kind of like pieced it. It's like, like just kind of pieced itself back together.
Right.
It was so natural, so I think it's why it works so well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to ask, fast forward to now, to 2017, how is it? How does it feel to kind of be Underoath as adults?
Now it works so well because we really respect each other, and we respect each other's differences, and we still have all this stuff that keeps us on the same page. Like, we still all have that similarity of the things that we love, and this band and music and writing music together, and we can just accept each other's personal lives as what they are, and it's not weird.
Sure.
Like, I think there was a time when we couldn't hang out. There was like little cliques, and now we're just like a happy family, because it's like pretty much like any other group of dudes. I'm pretty sure if like fraternity brothers stuck together through all the thick and thin, they would figure out a way to still be friends, but they're probably all different now than they were when they were in college together.
Sure.
So.
Well, I mean, yeah, now what? What's the plan now that kind of you guys you're accepting everyone and everyone's having a good time in the band again? Is it just going to be touring and see what happens? Have you guys kind of started writing something for another album?
I mean, the most important thing was getting the band back together and learning how to take it step by step and play, and realizing that we want to do this again, do it full time, and then you forget all the baggage that comes with that. Is all these people that you sign contract with come running after you, and
shit.
And it's a nightmare.
Right.
But it's getting worked out, and I'll have an answer for you probably next time we talk. But as of right now, it's just like
baby steps.
Yeah.
Taking each day as it comes. Yeah. Well, hey man, I can't ask for any more. You guys are back.
Yeah.
But you said full time. I got to pin you on that one. So it's not just a one last Hail Mary.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. We're not those kind of guys. We were never about the money. It's like, if we were about the money, we would have made a pop record, and I would have just slicked back my hair and sang.
Yeah, right.
Danced around like a fool.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, we're not about that. Like, we've always been about the music, about the art, and about pushing it further. So we're not a money grab band either. So it's not like a farewell reunion tour.
Farewell reunion, farewell kind of thing. Yeah.
It's, we're definitely.
This is it.
Yeah, we worked it out. We had to burn the house down and rebuild it more modern and more up to date.
Awesome.
Right. It's like flipping a house. Like, it's a great location. We had a great location. We bought the right property. We just had to update it.
Right on.
Yeah, it works out really well. I think those years were terrible at the end and during the breakup, but I can see it and appreciate it for what it was, and know that it had to happen. There's no taking that back,
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Spencer, man, they're all the questions that I got for you.
Yeah.
I understand there's a lot on your plate for tonight, so I'll get out of your hair. But, man, thank you. An honor and a privilege to get your time.
Cool,
Thanks
man.
so much.
Nice to meet you, man.
You too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for that, man.
Yeah, dude.